Alright, so today's Halloween. Happy Halloween for those out there, but I was gonna make a video on, what's it called? Alien Isolation. I thought it was a good horror game to have it. But I ended up making this because this is honestly the true horror game right now. If you're not aware, to catch you up, Bungie just laid off a whole bunch of people at their game, at their site and for Destiny and stuff and other things probably. And yeah, so it's been a shit show, and yeah, there's more info getting released constantly. So yeah, let's see. In an email to employees seen by Bloomberg, Bungie Chief Executive Officer Pete Patterson said staffers would be hearing some news today and that there would be a team meeting later in the day to discuss today's events. The company didn't immediately respond to a request for comment. Bungie recently delayed an upcoming Destiny 2 expansion, the final shape, until June, February, pushing it out of Sony Group Corp's current fiscal year. So if you didn't know, that's what's going on. Marathon's also delayed, but I don't really care for that at the moment. But that's the main thing. But then more stuff has been released and stuff over the course of. That was the main thing, and then there's been more. According to it, Bungie CEO Pete Parsons allegedly told remaining employees that the company had kept the right people to continue work on Destiny 2. Layoffs were largely due to D2 underperformance over the last year and lower than expected pre-orders for the final shape. So I'm going to explain what this is about and what BS this is in a second. But, Doggo, calm down, oh. Calm down. Loco, calm down. But, we're going to go to this part right here, which is what is insane to me. But new, Bungie laid off 8% of the staff Monday, or around 100 people lost their jobs yesterday. That is ridiculous. Sources tell Bloomberg 2 weeks ago staff were told they were projected to miss revenue targets by 45%. That's a huge decrease. Employees were galvanized to get things on track. Then came surprise layoffs. So that's the article. I'm going to pull that up as well. But yeah, so layoffs are part of a bigger revamp at Sony PlayStation units. So basically, let's see, is it the same thing? Hold up. Developer employees that revenue is running for the year, according to people who attended the meeting. She said big miss on weak player attention, which was faced with poor reception since the release of its last expansion. So, the last expansion, which was Lightfall, it got a horrible review because originally we weren't supposed to get Lightfall. If you don't know, Lightfall did not exist. After they released Witch Queen, they came out, or it was right before, I don't remember, it was right before or right after. They released that Lightfall would be the new expansion. They said, we're adding this one in because we want it to be blah, 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 blah. It doesn't really matter. And, well, the reality is they had a very short time to work on it. Very short time to work on Lightfall. Because they've been working on Witch Queen since they released the previous one. But Lightfall wasn't supposed to exist. And then according to them, they said, well, Lightfall was the beginning part of Final Shape, but they decided to separate into two DLCs instead of one. And combine them. They wanted to separate them out. Which in reality, they probably should have combined them. Because it probably would have made a lot better thing. But I get it. Whatever. They separated it is what it is, right? But it sucked because they didn't have a long time to work on. This is my opinion on it. And by when they announced that it was going on, when they decided to make the decision. So Bungie's employees had a rush job to make an entire DLC and seasons for lore-wise and make it all line up. Obviously, they start working on the seasons afterwards. But they have to have at least a concept, which means all that concept. It's why the graphics for Lightfall sucked, for like Nimbus and other things. It's why Strand just had no place in the campaign. It made no sense at all. That was just there, placed randomly for real. It wasn't even placed really good, lore-wise or factually-wise. It just seemed like shit. And then no questions were answered. It's because literally no one written shit, it looked like. And so now it looks like, according to Bungie, they're saying they got rid of these people because they were the reason they failed, which in reality is not true. The reason they failed is because Bungie decided to add, the people in charge decided to add extra steps to something that didn't have extra steps. So yeah, it was really bad. Like it's really bad. And yeah, so that's the problem, and they're upset because they didn't make enough money off it, but it's their own fucking fault for deciding to add it way too late to the program when they already should have been at it. So Final Shape has been worked on for 2 years now, basically, because Lightfall replaced it. And Lightfall was obviously not worked on much at all because they never had the chance to because they had very limited time. So that's on Bungie. Bungie's the problem there. But they're upset about they didn't get their money. 45% decrease is a huge loss of profit. Don't get me wrong, that's bad. But I don't blame the devs. I blame Bungie for deciding to pull it out of their ass. And that's where the problem came in. So yeah, IGN reports that Bungie developers have been begging leadership to make necessary changes to win players back. This entire article is insane. On IGN, I guess. Do they have a link for it? I don't know. Oh, here it is. IGN is reporting that the Bungie layoffs were also due to underperformance Destiny over the last year, as well as lower than expected pre-orders for the upcoming expansion of Final Shape. Because Lightfall was such a shit show, nobody wants to pre-order Final Shape practically. It's their own fault, but they want to blame their employees that were put on the spot and had to do something quickly in a very little bit amount of time, and that's on them. As his Final Shape was getting good but not great feedback, pushing it back to June 2024 will give the developers more time to improve. I don't believe that. I don't think they're going to work on it at all because Bungie is like that. They're not going to get them to work on much of anything. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just been a shit show and a half. They laid off 100 people, around 100 people, which could be a little more, could be a little less. That's just ridiculous. But, yeah, so let's go to this article real quick. Do a little scan real quick, go over it. That impacted multiple departments. CEO told employees that the company had kept the right people to continue to work on Destiny 2. I'm sorry, but they got rid of a lot of people that were main players that are important to the game development. So that's a bunch of BS. I'm glad like the people that didn't get fired, more weren't fired, but at the same time there was a lot of people that are very important, very big in the industry. We know, we love, and we want them to stay, and they got rid of them. So they got rid of all the main players, which is dumb. Like Bungie, come on. Multiple current and recently laid off employees. IGN has confirmed reports that Bungie took responsibility for the layoffs rather than laying them at the feet of parent company Sony. Since told employees that the layoffs were largely due to underperformance of Destiny 2 over the last year, as well as lower than expected pre-orders for upcoming expansion of the Final Shape. IGN can now independently confirm reports that the Final Shape has been delayed to June 2024, and Marathon has been internally delayed to 2025 after having been in development since 2019. Think about how long that is, and they're still developing it. Great. Employees were also told that Destiny 2 player sentiment was at an all-time low. Sources tell IGN that this issue has been flagged to leadership repeatedly for months prior to layoffs, with employees begging for necessary changes to win players back. One former Bungie employee recalled that they were repeatedly assured following the 2022 Sony acquisition of Bungie that there would be no layoffs, and cited an item from a Sony quarterly report that claimed $1.2 billion of the $4 billion acquisition was going explicitly towards staff retention. Multiple employees confirmed that the money was distributed to employees who were fully vested, with money split into multiple payments over time and varying based on discipline and seniority. Other employees also told IGN that they felt especially frustrated at the layoffs, given that the company had completed work on a brand new headquarters, more than double the size of its previous office, and likely a pricey upgrade in Bellevue, Washington. Note: the archive Bungie. That doesn't matter. Update its battle line. Parsons has criticized in some quarters for calling the layoffs a sad day at Bungie in a tweet, which similarly angered several employees we spoke to. Today is a sad day at Bungie. As we say goodbye to colleagues who have all made a significant impact on our studio. What these exceptional individuals have contributed to our games, of Bungie's culture has been enormous and will continue to be a part of Bungie long into the future. Yeah, but you got rid of them. Obviously you don't care, so stop lying. That's a bunch of BS. We all agree with that. The exact number of this impact is still nebulous, though some sources we spoke to suggest roughly around 100 employees. A number also reported by Blur earlier today. Multiple employees claimed that internally Bungie leadership has tried to obfuscate the numbers and departments of those impacted, while discouraging employees from asking questions on these topics in community chat or company chats. Wow. Basically, Bungie just became a dictatorship. They're not allowing anyone to question the bullshit. They're not allowing anyone to have freedom of speech. If you speak against them trying to get them to fix the game, which is what they say up here, they're getting in trouble for it. They've been asking Bungie for a while to let them actually have control over it to make a better game, but they won't do it. So good job, heads of Bungie. You're a bunch of idiots. IGN has now heard of layoffs impacting the community team, art, engineering, recruiting, legal, audio, QA, creative studios, and IT, which impacts across both. I don't know why the legal ones are getting fired. See, this makes me think Bungie's full of shit, because it doesn't make any sense why you're getting rid of the legal guys. They have nothing to do with the money profits, so don't know why they're getting fired, especially when you're already in several lawsuits to begin with, for ones you've initiated and have been initiated against Bungie, because Bungie's is in trouble right now for supposedly firing someone for discrimination. So yeah, for both the two, including multiple members of the company's Diversity Committee, and Accessibility Club. These impacted are receiving a minimum of 3 months of severance and Cobra Health benefits, though other company benefits terminated immediately. Being deemed expendable hurts. Yeah. Multiple employees expressed frustration about the layoffs, saying they felt that the decisions leading to the company's apparent money struggles were out of their hands and that those who were laid off were being punished for a problem they largely did not cause. It's definitely weird being the one who is laid off based on the decisions and purpose of people and departments you're not involved with, one impact employees told IGN. I agree, it makes no sense. Being deemed expendable hurts. Additionally, IGN has been told that a notable number of employees has been dismissed from the QA team in the weeks and months leading up to yesterday's layoff. While the exact number is unknown, the number of departures over time were notable enough that the company head of QA sent an email around to staff members addressing the situation. IGN has reviewed the email, which claimed that dismissals were not layoffs and not a result of cost cutting in any way, adding that if we ever did layoffs, they would be very upfront about it. Employees familiar with the situation told IGN that dismissals came alongside what felt like a growing crackdown on QA, which increased job responsibilities and multiple people being placed on performance improvement plans for seemingly minor infractions. In 2021, IGN spoke to 26 current and former employees at Bungie about a pervasive work culture at the Destiny 2 developer that at the time seemed to slowly be improving thanks to the ongoing efforts of employees at the ground level. However, earlier this month we also reported on an ongoing lawsuit filed against Bungie by a former HR manager who claims she was wrongfully terminated for reporting potential racial bias in the company. That's what I was just talking about. IGN has reached out to Bungie for comment. And of course Bungie hasn't said shit because they gotta get the press guys to bullshit for them. So in other words, Bungie's in trouble. They got upset because they didn't make the money they wanted, because they rushed people to produce a product with little time, because they came out of the blue with it, and they got upset with it. And they wanted to make tons of changes because the storyline, the stuff, the loot for what has been released, the concept art for what Lightfall should have been, was insane. But what it has been, it sucks. Hence, Bungie's management is at fault, but they're blaming the lower tier, so they're getting rid of them because of this issue. But it's their own fucking fault. Instead of owning it, they're getting rid of people, which is now going to cause bigger performance issues, which means the final shape is officially fucked. I don't care who you think you are. Bungie's just fucked up because they're getting rid of good people that do good things, and they've been asking for better, and Bungie's been saying no. So in other words, Bungie's a piece of shit. Good job, Bungie. I don't care what you say, it's fucking being a piece of shit. So yeah, then we have this one still running 45% below projections for a year. Layoffs are part of a bigger revamp at Sony PlayStation unit. So yeah, Bungie's decision to cut an estimated 100 jobs from a staff of about 1,200 followed dire management warnings. So they have a staff of 1,200, and they got rid of 100 of them. And a lot of them were important parts. Good job, Bungie. Good fucking job. And yes, this is a rant. This is just getting out of hand. Bungie's making all these mistakes, and they're screwing their game over more. Just 2 weeks ago, executives of Sony-owned game developer told employees that revenue was running 40% below. We know that already. Putting a big miss on weak player retention for Destiny 2, which has faced a poor reception since the release of the latest expansion, Lightfall. Yeah, because it sucked, because you fucked it up. And you fire people that didn't fuck it up and have nothing to do with it. That's wrong. Good job, Bungie. You're fucking dumb. The next expansion foundation was getting good, not great feedback, and management told those present that they had planned to push back to release to June 2024 from February, according to the people who asked not to be identified because they weren't authorized to speak publicly. Additional time would give developers a chance to improve the product. In the meantime, Press told staff Bungie would be cutting costs, such as for travel, as well as implementing salary and hiring freezes. The people said everyone would have to work together to weather the storm, he said, leaving employees feeling determined to do whatever was needed to get revenue back up. Exactly. But on Monday morning, the news got worse. Dozens of staffers woke up to mysterious 15-minute meetings that had been placed on their calendars, which they soon learned were part of a mass layoff. Bungie laid off around 8% of its employees, according to the documentation reviewed by Bloomberg. Bungie didn't respond to the request for comment. Employees who were let go will receive at least 3 months of severance and 3 months of Bungie-paid Cobra health insurance, although other benefits such as expense reimbursements ended Monday, sending some staff racing to submit the receipts. Okay, see, this is okay. They're getting 3 months of pay, a severance pay, and they're getting 3 months of their health plan, which people are saying ain't that good, so, but at least it's something. I'm glad that's at least happening, because at the moment we were pretty sure that, at the beginning of this, that was not going to happen by what we were hearing, so it looks like they're doing something, so that's good, I guess. Laid off staffers will also receive prorated bonuses, although those who were on a vesting schedule follow Sony Group Corp's acquisition. Bungie will lose any shares that weren't vested as of next month, which is stupid, but okay. The layoffs are part of a larger money-saving initiative at Sony's PlayStation unit, which has also cut employees at studios such as Naughty Dog, Media Molecule, and San Mateo office. I don't know. Analyst Doug Cruz wrote in the report Monday that events over the last few days lead us to believe that PlayStation is undergoing a restructuring. PlayStation President Jim Ryan announced last month that he plans to resign. Many of the layoffs at Bungie affect the company's support departments such as community management and publishing. Remaining Bungie staff were informed that some of those areas will be outsourced moving forward. Sony's game unit cuts staff following delayed titles. Yeah. Sony's Bungie game unit cuts files. Okay, this stuff. Sony game recurring today's the sad day of Bungie. We goodbye to colleagues. Blah blah blah. That's him being a dickhead again. Like group chorus, current finance. Sony's purchase. That doesn't matter. Alright, so basically, yeah. So as you heard, okay, so they are giving people pay, which is a good thing. Severance pay. I'm glad they're doing that. I don't think they actually have to legally. I'm not sure. But at least they are, and they're giving them insurance. I know it's not the greatest, but it's something at least. But I mean, at the same time, they don't really care that much if they're sitting there saying, oh, we hate to lose them, but they're firing them. Then why the fuck are you firing them if you hate to lose them? That's just a bit of dumb stuff. But anyways, that's my rant. I mean, this has just been a shit show and a half. I don't like it. Most people don't like it. We think it's a dumb decision they're making. They're taking a lot of major players out of the picture. So, Bungie, stop and actually think. These players are important to the game. They've always been important to the game. They've proven that countless times. Just let them have the freedom to do what they want, to make the game better, and then I promise you, you will get all the money in the world you want. Bungie, just stop and listen to them. Okay? They've been right about so much in the past. They told us what they wanted to do. They did it. They made you money. Stop trying to control the game. Let your developers actually develop. This is where the problem's happening. It's so easy to fix. Bungie, use your brain. That's the video. Thanks for watching. Sorry, gone on for a while. If you do end up watching the whole thing, I appreciate it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. I guess just didn't listen to my rant. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Have a good day.